to episode 3 of our Sit and Go. The bubble looms, people. There's only 5 left. 3 get paid, and we have 2 players who are pretty darn short.
Yeah, Shaggy and Austin are pretty short. They're going to have to get it in gear if they want to make this money because they don't want to lose $1,000, Jonathan. I don't think anybody does.
Nope, you never want to lose 1,000. You always want to win 1,000. It's a little life tip there for you guys.
Good advice.
We're really getting into it now. 5 left. The money is starting to get a little close. You can smell it, Grant.
The smell of money is not actually that great. I know people tout how it's a wonderful thing, but it's kind of just like dirty.
I feel like it's sort of a cinnamony smell for me.
Okay.
Like a nice eggnog.
Maybe you get a lot of your money from bakeries. Do you eat a lot at bakeries?
A lot of croissants. Yeah.
I love a good croissant. All right, Thorpe is going to open the button with 6-5 suited. Austin is quite short here, just over 20 bigs.
Even now he's thinking with the 6-4 off and 21 bigs. I guess he's thinking about shoving.
I don't know what he's thinking about. Well, it's a good thing he didn't.
Yep. Because Snuggy is...
This is a pretty clear 3-betting spot.
I think so. I think it's a 3-bet we ain't folding spot.
I mean, Thorpe does have a lot of big blinds to get in with ace-king, but we are short-handed.
Our hand is so good.
And if we know Thorpe, we know he's not folding, right? He doesn't fold pre-flop once he puts chips in the pot.
No way. He never folds in this spot. And he actually has a reasonable chip stack, at least, to make this call.
Oh my goodness.
Thorpe really adjusting to the sit and go.
What happened? I don't know.
He never does that.
That's confusing.
Wow.
I don't even know if that's correct. He has a hand that can flop pretty well.
It's going to have some real stack to pot issues if he calls. It's going to be about 4-1 stack to pot. That's really a problem. You flop a pair, what are you supposed to do?
He's only got to call 1,500.
Yeah. And you are in position.
Yeah.
I think you want to be a little deeper.
I guess. I would be tempted to call there.
Me too.
And Thorpe, who is constantly tempted to call, surprises me by not deciding to call
I think he's right to fold it. I think that's correct.
I think you're just not worth having any fun with because you don't want to call with suited connectors.
I'm definitely not worth having any fun with, which means...
How would you want to hang out with somebody who doesn't want to call with suited connectors?
I think it's fine. Shaggy also very short. 22 blinds.
Jack 9, Thorpe's hand that's been working for him so far. He folds it anyway. Austin's still having to think even though he has Queen 5 off.
Austin, is in this thing where he wants to steal the blinds, but he's up against player. Look at Brandon Cantu smile as he
he's like, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah.
You can't raise. Well, it looks like he's not going to get through Snuggy, who has ace 9. Should probably 3-bet here.
Yeah, this is a good time to do it. He's just going to call.
Cantu gets out of the way with the same hand as Austin. I mean, the problem as Snuggy, if you 3-bet, I suppose, is that... Oh, he did 3-bet.
Oh.
We just got it wrong. No, Austin limped the button.
I'm super confused. That's why Brandon was smiling, I guess. And Snuggy raised.
Wow. Well, he has the Queen of Spades here, which is nice. I am very surprised he chose Queen 5 off to limp the button with there.
Me too. He must really think he can outplay these guys being in position later. Well, he does flop the second nut flush draw. Snuggy checks, and I got to believe we're going to see a bet from Austin here.
Yeah, he's got a bet, right?
I think we're going to bet, and the plan would be probably not to fold very often. Although if you get shoved on, I guess you're going to have to fold. But if you don't get if it's a small raise, you would have to call. In this case, I think we're just going to see a fold probably from
I think
Snuggy.
I would bet, even if I didn't have the Queen of Spades here, Snuggy having raised pre-flop and deciding not to bet this flop, it feels like he just doesn't like the flop. Like, how is he
he either he has the nuts or he doesn't like the flop, right?
It's hard to have the nuts.
It is difficult to have the nuts. That is true. Very easy when you got the Queen of Spades in your hand.
Yes.
He limps the button.
That was strange.
Yeah.
That was a very strange decision.
With that hand, too.
Yeah, you'd think maybe if you want to limp the button sometimes because of your stack, you don't want to get 3, but maybe Queen 10 suited, hands like that.
King 9 even? Like things that play better than Queen 5 off. Interesting. It did work out, but not a standard play.
No, certainly not.
Like there's plays that are standard. That's not in that group. This play's not in that group.
Not in the group?
Those plays are somewhere down the street with the kiddie game. Kiddie game's down the street.
So this is the big boy game.
I don't know what game this is. I just know where the kiddie game is.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
I can't speak to this game.
Mike Madison never did say that they were at the adult game.
No.
He just told them where the kiddie game was.
Right. Maybe this is the baby game.
Well, Austin's probably going to play this if he played the Queen 5 off, right?
I would expect him to raise this, but I would expect him to raise the last one too. So expect. Oh, he didn't do the slow look down that time. He just sort of reached for the chips. That's interesting.
I think that one is a raise, although the
it?
glare
It
is
is.
making it difficult to see.
Yeah.
Snuggie just folds the 7-5 suited on the button, probably because of the stack of Austin. And that's a good time to raise because he gets it through, and these pots are all very important for Austin right now.
Yeah.
Shaggy and Austin really need to pick up some small pots. I mean, bigger pots are good too, but the small pots mean so much to those guys right now.
Got an interesting group of names here. We got Thorpe.
Yep.
Sounds like someone who's gonna kill you with his fists. We got
Does he?
Shaggy and Snuggy, who are either cartoon characters or musicians of some sort or another. You've got Austin. That's a city.
That is a city. And Cantu, which is a planet.
Indeed, the 10th planet.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I guess it's the 9th planet now, right? Because
No, you forgot about Glebo, which is the 9th planet.
Glebo.
Yeah.
I don't believe I have. That's some gaslighting you're doing right there, buddy.
Sure it is.
That's more gaslighting.
That's what you always say right before they put you in the asylum.
Do they put me in the asylum that often? Hey, let's get back to the hand. Cantu's going to open the button with King 9.
That looks like 10-9 to me.
Well, you know
Am
what?
I gaslighting you now? Or did you just gaslight yourself?
Shaggy just calls from the small blind with 10-7 off. So that's a very strange play.
Suppose that's frustration. I
Yeah,
don't know
he's
what
got
else.
20 blinds.
It's just a loose thing to do.
Yeah, I'm going to outflop you, buddy. That's what's going on
Well,
there.
that flop's going to show up eventually, and Thorpe flops top pair.
Thorpe is not going to fold this hand anytime real soon.
No, I mean, if Cantu puts a ton of pressure, he might.
Yeah, but it's going to take at least 2 bets. 1 bet ain't going to do it. And I would expect on this board, Cantu's probably going to shut down once he's called.
Yeah, because what could Thorpe have besides a king or a 3 to call? I mean, he doesn't have too many pocket pairs because he didn't 3-bet pre-flop.
He could have pocket pairs, though. He could.
He could have like 6s or 7s.
Yeah. Club on the turn improves Thorpe's equity even more.
Well, Cantu picks up a 9.
That's true. That's true. Maybe it actually doesn't improve.
Club
his
has
equity,
nothing to do with Thorpe's hand, so I don't know what you said that for.
You know what? I am really in trouble. I'm just missing everything right now. Thank God you're here. Anyway, Thorpe has got to believe he's got the best hand now after Cantu checks back. Thorpe checks again.
I like him checking again. Let Cantu take a shot if he's going to. Cantu just had too much showdown value. I imagine if the 9 didn't come, Thorpe might have gotten another bet out of Cantu.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. If he checks the river, I think that's possible. The thing is, Cantu probably is going to shut down on the turn anyway. Thorpe sort of does have one of the worst hands he can have there with the King 7. Once the Jack comes, he doesn't have to worry about the kicker too much.
No, not too much.
But Cantu can have better kings and check the turn.
He can.
He's often going to bet those.
He is often going to. He'll probably check his bad kings and bet his good ones.
Yeah. Thorpe wasn't the big blind, too, so he's a little more apt to have a 3.
You could easily have a 3 there.
Yeah, so that's another reason to check the turn. But you can bet it, too. It's fine. If you don't get raised, it don't matter. That's my philosophy.
Well said.
Not just in poker, in life.
Okay.
Good. Just throw a situation at me. Watch me work this out with my philosophy.
A cat has begun attacking you, and it's much stronger than you.
Did you get raised?
No.
Don't matter. Snuggie's opening the ace-4. Now, they are 5-handed. It's important to remember
the blinds
that.
have gone up, by the way.
Yeah.
They're up 400 big blind now.
Can't do it with the real hand.
Looks like a 3-bet's coming.
I like it.
Yeah. Do you like how I said the cat is much stronger than you?
I just assumed that meant it was a tiger. In my head, that's like a puma.
No, it was like a domestic cat.
But like a really big one, right? Like a lion-sized cat.
No, it's like,
a mountain
nice
lion.
12-pounder.
A jaguar.
12-pound cat.
Yeah. Did you know a puma, a mountain lion, and a jaguar are actually the same animal?
It's actually puma.
You always learn something new on this show.
Yeah.
You do. I'm saying you always learn something new. Yeah. It's a puma. Also,
Snuggie can't call here, right? This hand is so bad for the situation.
I guess he could decide to 4-bet Cantu all in. That's the only possible move he could be making. He's got a blocker.
Play the ICM bully roll.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting play.
It would.
If Snuggie knows that Cantu's opening it up a bunch at this point, it might actually be the right play. Because Cantu's going to have to fold this hand.
Yep. I think Cantu would fold this hand considering how deep. He would still have, 38 blinds. I'm sure he would not call off. Snuggie, though, is almost
looks like Snuggie just gave up.
Yep. There you go. It's understandable. This is just not a good hand.
Well, obviously, it's a good hand to shove with,
Yeah.
but not to call with. And usually you shouldn't be shoving there. You just have to believe that Brendan is opening up his 3-betting range pretty wide.
Cantu hasn't 3-bet that much. He 3-bet Snuggy light that one time last episode from blind to blind.
Yeah.
Blind versus blind, excuse me, when Snuggy opened in the small blind and Brandon had like Jack 4 suited, I think, in the big blind.
Yeah.
3-bet. That's really the only 3-bet we've seen Brandon do, I think. So it's not like he's been seemingly getting out of line.
I got another scenario for you.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
A clown is chasing you,
Yeah.
but you really like clowns.
Yeah.
But this clown seems menacing, but you really want to play with it anyway.
Huh. Okay. All right. Here's my one question
All
for
right.
you. Did you get raised?
Yes.
Then you care.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
you- then you care.
All right. Good. I'm glad you're consistent. That's what I wanted to make sure.
A little test, huh?
Yeah.
That's smart. Thorpe with a good hand on the button and lots of chips.
I think he announced a raise to 1,000 there. Yep.
Austin every time thinks about it. I
It's
assume he's
better-
got to be
it's-
thinking about he's just got to be thinking about 3-betting, right?
It's better than never thinking about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I don't. This is not a critique. It's just an interesting thing. A lot of players are going to fold right away there, and he's just really thinking like, is this a spot? He's thinking, is this a spot I can actually raise? Now Snuggy's pretending to think.
No, he's calling. Look at him.
Okay,
He's just 100% defend, I guess, because if
I-
he's defending this hand, he's defending every hand.
you would think. Wow.
At least there's antes.
Well, good luck winning this one, Snugs.
I mean, Thorpe sometimes just shuts down on flops like this. We've seen it happen. He just already
Yeah.
checks back right away, and Snuggy improves.
Snuggy
Snuggy's
actually
ahead.
makes the best hand. I like this check by Snuggy. Thorpe often has like 2 jacks.
I'm not sure I love how Thorpe played this hand
No.
because he has such a range advantage on that board and decided just to check back.
Now Thorpe's deciding should he call with king high. It's not crazy to call here.
It's not.
Like you've induced with all the checking, and we lose because, of course,
Because Snuggy has 9 deuce.
Snuggy announces the 9. That's why Thorpe mucked so quickly, if you're wondering, before Snuggy even turned it over. There's a lot of trust, a lot of love, and a lot of trust in these halls.
Especially love.
Yeah. Well, you can tell by those skeletons of the cows.
Yeah,
on
that makes
Snuggy's
sense.
shirt.
That's reasonable. You just wanted to bring that up. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
You know what? Don't try and read me, buddy. You don't know what's going on up in this orb.
Orb?
Yeah, this orb that rests above my shoulders, atop my shoulders.
Your head?
Yeah, it's well armored. So you don't know what's going on in there.
Are you okay?
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Feeling good. Get to watch this sit and go. I love sit and goes. I love playing sit and goes. But this time we got to watch it.
Yep.
It's not torture, though, Grant. It's fun.
We get to talk about it.
Yeah. Get to make jokes. All right, Austin, who's been thinking about everything, clearly is going to play this hand.
He could open this.
He could limp this. If he limped the queen 5, he might be limping this. It would sort of make sense to limp this if you're going to play it, right?
Yeah, so he doesn't get shoved on.
See if he actually does.
No, he's going to make it 1,000, it looks like.
Huh, so I guess he didn't like how the limping went, even though he did win the pot. Snuggy raised.
Well, Snuggy has the same hand he had last time.
Snuggy could move him in.
He just calls. He could move him in.
I think, yeah.
Cantu's probably not going to play this, although he's getting a really good price.
Oh, can't just think about a squeeze. See, he's saying, like,
Yeah.
how deep are you? Can I get you to fold? He is deep enough.
The 7 deuce game is not being played right now.
But this is Cantu's thinking about stealing all the time. He's got larceny in his heart, which is good if you're a poker player.
He shows a deuce, which is not great for his image after thinking about
Yes.
it. Accidental show.
It's not like he's going to show, like ace. I don't even know what he'd show there that he would call or fold instead of call.
And he would have flopped worst, and I think this is going to be the end of Austin.
Yeah, it should be, right? How is Austin not?
Snuggy just leads right out, and Austin's probably just going to move in, right?
It's okay to call.
I mean, he's got 5K left if he calls. He might as well just move in. There's a lot of bad cards.
No, you're just going to call anyway. That's the
Yeah,
idea, right?
that's
You
true.
could call. This way you don't blow Snuggy off.
But there's
his
bad
stuff.
cards for Snuggy, too, if he has a hand that he wouldn't fold on the flop.
That's true. Like a king could come on the turn
Yeah.
and we could lose him. I don't know. It seems like it's hard to get called by that many worse hands. That's the only problem I would have with moving in here, where we can also induce. by
Maybe we could
calling.
get called by open-enders and by 7s.
It is a raise, and there's the insta call, and Austin is in trouble.
Yeah, that's how you say that word.
Yeah.
He's going to need a jack. Or 7-7 or 3-3
The
or
9 of diamonds would bail him out. Hey, oh, that looked like a jack from far away.
just a jack now.
So close. It's going to be over for Austin.
And now we're getting close to the money.
Yeah, we are. See Shaggy now, our extreme short stack, which really should change the way these other guys play. Thorpe and Cantu have to be kind of careful.
Absolutely.
They don't want to play a big pot against Snuggy or each other.
Because we are, of course, on the bubble now. It's a
Yes.
$1,000 bubble. And it would be kind of a disaster to make a big bluff and lose while Shaggy's stack is that short.
Even worse, to make a big call.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the place where you get all hero-y very often, unless you think your opponent is really trying to apply ICM pressure on you, which, you may find. But usually you let them get away with it, honestly, in these spots.
And if Snuggy recognizes this situation, this is the perfect big stack situation on the bubble where there is one short stack, two other guys. Snuggy can open every hand.
I mean, Snuggy can do things like if him and Cantu are in the blinds, he can just move in. Like,
can.
just like, what are you going to do? You have to have aces or kings basically to call. Like, I'm just all in. And that's that. This is one of the few spots where Snuggy can't open super light because you got your 13 blind stack there who's looking to gamble.
And that's a nice pot.
Yeah.
It's a nice time to get a walk.
Cantu could have moved him in, but 7-4 off. It's very reasonable just not to. Can't take all your soldiers to every battle, right?
You got to keep some at home making the pot pie.
Yeah. Who's going to eat anything if they're not making the pot pie?
What? You're having a real tough time.
Think about it logically.
I don't
Who's gonna eat?
I don't think it's possible.
No one's going to eat if they're not making the pot pie. That's pretty straightforward, Grant.
Yeah, you just said it in such a way that was as if you were having a stroke.
What was that? You want to say that again?
Stroke.
Wow.
I'll kick this congestion someday.
This show is so off the rails right now. But that's part of the
Those
fun.
are the best ones.
Yeah. No, that's what I love, is that we get to do this kind of stuff. And your voice gets cracked. Brandon with the same two cards, I think, as last time.
Shaggy just gives up the computer hand.
Yep.
I don't think Thorpe would have called or cold.
This is where we are. We can't speak.
Yeah.
It's good that this is our job, that we get, compensated to speak about poker, and that's the one thing we can't do.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic.
It's the Peter principle.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That happens all the time.
Although it has nothing to do with our situation.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it could have. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know what the Peter principle is, people, worth looking up. Interesting. Pretty interesting concept. As I drive us back onto the tracks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're going to be normal, logical humans now?
For at least a few minutes. So Cantu's sort of in the worst spot right now with the 13 blind stack right behind him.
Yeah.
And Snuggy on his immediate right. It's going to be hard for Cantu really to play any hands for a while. Shaggy should be looking to shove a bunch of hands. This is not one of them. Now, these guys can play. Now, this is a great spot where Snuggy can just raise with impunity.
Yep. Oh, but he's going to check it.
Chooses not to.
I mean, it's a really bad hand.
That's a reason to raise.
Yeah.
Like, what is Thorpe going to do? You just move him in.
Moving
Seriously.
him in, that's so many blinds.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to auto-fold, right?
It's 45 blinds.
Who cares? He's going to fold everything.
Yeah, you're right.
You just get the money. Also, then he may just start giving you walks. You may not even have to start moving him in after that. You do it once or twice, it's over. He just has to give up.
Thorpe has an open ender here, and he gets
Thorpe
there.
should check and let Snuggy fire big. He's not going to, though, right? He's going to hope this. It's
Nope.
reasonable to hope that Snuggy has a hand here.
Right. He leads and Snuggy folds before the chips go in there. Very disappointing for Thorpe there.
Yeah. Ooh, he's like, oh, I got to bet because Snuggy may check back that ace.
I mean, Thorpe doesn't have a ton of aces in his range. He limped pre-flop. So.
Neither does Snuggy.
True. But Snuggy might take a shot just for big stack bully purposes.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I think he's supposed to when that card comes.
Yeah.
Thorpe's just going to have way too much hand to fold.
Way too much hand.
Yep. That's not crazy.
All right.
Too much hand. It's not weird. Andre the Giant.
It's like too much tuna, a little bit.
It's a little bit like that, but it's entirely too much hand.
It's not a pronk, though.
No. There's a camera over here. There's a camera over there. All right, Shaggy, once again with nothing. He's going to have to hang in there and be a little patient right now. He does have some time. Thorpe with a little pocket pair. He's going to call. And this also shows, like, we haven't seen Thorpe limp
No, I don't think he's limped the
this
entire time.
Yeah, and so there's, like, once again, this ICM spot. And look, Cantu sensing the weakness.
He's probably right. Thorpe probably wouldn't limp a very strong hand too often here.
Right. And now Thorpe has to decide, do I even want to put chips in? So Cantu is actually playing
Ooh, it's
the
a
part of Big Stack Bully.
huge raise.
Yeah, this is quite a play. This is pretty awesome.
Making sure that Thorpe can't call with the whatever marginal hand he limped with his 8-9 suited
Right.
or his pocket threes like he had.
Right. It's a disaster if Thorpe doesn't fold,
Yes.
but he's going to fold so often there. So it's interesting. Snuggy's the guy who we think should be putting the ICM pressure on people just because he's got the stack to do it, but Cantu just did it there instead.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He made it 8 blinds, by the way.
Yep. It's
Huge
just-
raise.
yeah. I mean, you can't set mine for that price.
You just can't. Not at these stack depths.
No way.
You can set mine for 8 blinds in a super deep game. Of
Sure.
course.
Hey, who will ever forget in the World Series of Poker when I think they started with 20K starting stacks and the guy made it 1,000 pre-flop on like hand number 11 or something like that. Or the second hand. It was the second hand. Because Sammy Farah had just busted Oliver Hudson on the first
Right.
hand. Had pocket threes. He called 1,000 and the guy just moved in on the flop and Sammy flopped a set of threes and bam, the guy was out. He had 2 aces. He was just out.
That's a nice time
He
for
bet like
Sammy.
19,000 to win 2,000, by the way, on the flop. Sammy's like, call.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. So Cantu, is it he completes there?
He could have moved Shaggy
Yeah.
in there. Well, I guess he's probably gonna bet. I don't know.
I think min betting is a great idea or something close to
Yeah,
it. Looks like more than a min bet.
700, I think. 550.
Oh, okay.
Not that much more.
About
than
half pot.
Yeah. Cantu making sure nobody can see his face even after the hand's over.
It's smart.
Pro strategy.
Very smart. Also, you know,
Maybe his hand smells really good.
cinnamony.
Yeah.
Smells like money.
Been touching money.
Yeah. You know the money that I really like is the money that smells like cloves.
I like the money that is not actually money, but it looks like coins, but then it's foil wrapper and there's chocolate inside.
Yeah. But you can't really smell it.
If you open it, you can smell
Right, but
chocolate.
until you open it. If you open money, I mean, think about that.
Yeah, think about it, everybody. We're losing our minds.
Yeah. That's correct. All right, Cantu
Pretty
says
nice
enough.
hand for the button.
He's going to have to fold if he gets a shove here, probably.
Yeah,
But-
min raises. He's consistently min raising. He is dominated by Thorpe, unfortunately for him.
But he's still going to win a lot of the time.
Yep.
These guys have very similar chip stacks.
Well, he's not going to win yet.
No. It's possible. Thorpe actually has a pretty good chance to win this hand now, I think.
Yeah, they could end up checking it down and Thorpe
Yeah.
winning with ace high if nobody improves.
I could see that happening for sure. Well, it's possible Brandon will bet a second time here.
The queen is pretty good for Brandon's range. He could bet it.
I think he probably is supposed to bet again, but he decides not to. There's some ICM pressure he could have put on him there.
Another queen. That's
Ooh,
gonna.
Queen of Clubs.
It's a bit of an interesting card.
This feels like a good time to bet.
Oh,
Oh,
he
but
just gives it up, and
he
Thorpe's
decides-
gonna win.
He does have King High, and he can beat some of the straight draws, I guess.
Yeah, but Thorpe has so many 4s, 5s, and 6s
I
in his
know.
range that he could probably fold out some of the time at least.
I would think so. I would think a bet on the turn or the river is often going to work, especially when the club comes on the river. You can just rep it. Just bet big. What's he going to do? So hard to call there.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably some time for aggressive action there from Cantu.
Mm-hmm. But he also wanted to maintain his situation.
Right. I
In
mean,
the
everybody's
sit and go.
thinking about not only the bubble, but that Nitrogen Sports $100 sports bet plus the $5K for first.
I mean, hello, that's more than normal first place.
It's extra.
Yeah, by about $100.
A little extra.
A little something we're throwing in there.
Yeah, just for free.
Because we love you guys. It isn't really us doing it, by the way. It's Nitrogen Sports who's
Yep.
throwing it in there. They also, you may not have noticed this, they actually adorn our felt.
Really?
Yeah,
That's what that says.
That's what that says. That's Nitrogen Sports.
I can't read.
Nitrogen Sports Poker.
Cantu with ace jack suited. Definitely will call with Shaggy shoves.
100%. It's the first time he's had a hand he can actually call a Shaggy shove with. Snuggie with ace 9. It says fold, but that is not what happened.
No, it is not true. And this is a hand he's had 3 times already in this episode.
It's gone pretty well for him so far with ace 9. He's got more than twice the stack of Brandon.
Nobody flops anything. Brandon's been c-betting a lot, but decides not to, maybe because he has enough showdown value in his mind. Picks up a gut shot there, and it's also good for his range.
Yep. This is a good time to bet, I think, on the turn.
I agree. But he
decides
checks
to
it
check.
back. Maybe he thinks Snuggie would have bet a pair by now. He feels comfortable and safe.
Well, even so, you could deny equity.
It's just going check all the way. These guys are playing very passively.
Yep. This is what happens when you've got an 11 blind stack, you know. Although Snuggie doesn't have to play passively, but...
No, he does not. Snuggie should probably be ramping up the aggression.
I think Brandon was just trying to set up a potential bluff catching situation on turns and rivers, and then didn't have to bluff.
Yeah, I kind of like betting the turn though.
Me too. You pick up equity.
Pick up equity. We have a lot of kings in our range. It's just a good balanced reason to bet.
Yeah, like if we hit the queen on the river, don't we want to like have a bigger pot to be betting into? Make it easier. Also, Snuggie's the guy with the chips who can call a big bet if he has something.
I do like having a bigger pot when I have the nuts. That's a good point, Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's good to build a pot when you might get the nuts. I'm a big believer.
Cool.
In that stratagem. That's
stratagem?
The word. Yeah, it's Latin for stratagem.
All right.
It's one of the gems.
Shaggy's going to have to pick up something pretty soon here. He's just been folding and folding because he hasn't had anything.
See, but I hear what you're saying, but that can be a little bit of a fallacy, too. He still has 11 and a half
No, you're
blinds.
right. You're right. And you shouldn't just shove because it's been a while.
Right.
You know? You shouldn't ever...
We've all been
just
there.
because you're down to 9 blinds doesn't mean you should shove Jack 5 off.
Right. I mean, I've done things like that, and I almost always regret it, except when it gets through. Then I feel great.
Then you're like, I'm a genius.
These fools will never call me. But, you know, anytime you get called, you feel so dumb. And it's like, I really had time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's got anything here. Snuggie with a lock on the hand with the Queen 6. And
I like that Snuggie's betting.
He's going to bet.
I actually kind of like that he checked it, too, because he's rarely going to have an ace.
Yeah.
And so, now, neither is Cantu, in fairness, but still. Also, Shaggy is so short at this point. Snuggie really should be able to push these guys around.
He really should be.
Just like so easily now. Like, who cares what they think? Just raise 90% of the hands.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I mean, just because it's happening all the time doesn't mean they're going to fight back.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen many times on bubbles where people don't fight back.
Now, that said, Shaggy is 2 to his left, so it's really only super easy to do it when he's in the blinds. Snuggie.
True. That is true.
But any time he's in the blinds.
But Shaggy needs a hand to shove with when Snuggie opens because Snuggie's going to be forced to call with a lot of his marginal hands.
That's a great point.
It's fine anyway.
But yeah, this is clearly a fold here for Snuggie
it's
because
just
of that.
too bad of a hand.
Brandon, again, just completes. Interesting. With Queen 8. Wow, that was a pretty easy shove, I would think. I'm surprised he didn't just move him in.
I wonder if Shaggy would have called with the Jack 10.
I don't think so. But what do I know?
That said, he is not among the short stacks. He is the clear short stack, so he might need to take a spot like that.
I think you can do a little better than Jack high when a guy moves you in.
Probably. But Jack 10, it has opportunities.
You have too many blinds to do that, I think. The math is really
Is
not
Cantu
on
just
your
going to
side.
win with Queen high here?
This seems impossible.
It's been so passive.
Come on, everyone. How does no one take a shot at this? Shaggy, you need this pot, man. What's going on? I guess Shaggy doesn't want to like get really short. I mean, he's short, but he doesn't want to get hyper short, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And when Brandon checks all 3 streets, it looks like he has like a minor showdownable hand that he may call once with, right? I don't think he was.
That's not necessarily the case with how passively he's been playing in some of these pots. Sometimes he doesn't have any showdown value.
We've seen that.
He's checking anyway.
You make a really good point. But he has managed his stack to stay right there with Thorpe, while Shaggy is, really feeling it now. It's fun to be on the stone bubble. I like it. Big fan of the bubble.
It's a fun dynamic that it's one of the coolest dynamics in poker. I can't kick the congestion.
You know what? Sooner or later, it's an exciting time for you. You're growing.
Yeah.
You're starting to think about, forget it. I'll just let that go. There's the shove. King high.
Very reasonable. He might get called.
No, come on. You're crazy. There's no way Thorpe's calling.
I don't think Thorpe should call.
He called.
They're going to chop a lot.
Yeah. That is really funny. I didn't think it was possible that Thorpe could call in. I was completely wrong. Shaggy's been so not getting it in, and Thorpe called with king 5 off. I don't know. Well, that's a great flop for Thorpe.
I mean, they were often going to chop a lot anyway, but that's a good start, and so far they're chopping.
Yep, it's going to take a 5 or a 6.
Choppy, choppy. 50 chips for each of you guys for your efforts. Congratulations, guys.
It's a pretty good deal for Shaggy when he shoves with king 6 to get his money back, though, and gets called, to get his money back. Like, as soon as the guy calls, you're like, well, I'm never ahead, right? Pretty much never ahead. Like, I guess queen jack could decide to call.
Yeah, queen jack suited.
Yeah, that's
reasonable.
Maybe it.
No, king 5 off, obviously.
Well, yeah, as it turns out. But you wouldn't think so.
Maybe you wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I didn't.
You don't understand the torpedo and his ways.
I don't. It's part of what makes him so delightful. He's like a hobbit.
What?
Impish and wonderful.
Impish and okay.
Full of happiness and wants to...
I'm sure he loves hearing that.
Also, if you need something delivered somewhere really far away.
Like a ring?
He's your guy. Yeah, he's, by the way, not short at all.
No.
When I say he's I'm just comparing to more the demeanor of a hobbit. Obviously.
The fortitude.
Like Samwise Gamgee.
The fortitude.
Of the hobbit.
Yeah.
Here's a shove.
Definite shove.
Thorpe asks for a count.
Well, he does have a reasonable calling hand here.
He does.
Problem is he's in the small blind.
I wouldn't call, but Thorpe clearly calls. Is clearly getting it in there. And Snuggy, I don't know what Snuggy... Oh, he hasn't looked at his cards
I think
yet.
it's a clear call for Thorpe if you're in the big blind.
No, I think it's really different. It's a clear call now that we've seen king 6 off just shove. I don't know if it was a clear call before for 10 blinds, but now it would definitely be a clear call.
Well, now Shaggy's life is on the line here. We'll see if he can fade this and not be the bubbler.
If Shaggy goes home, we're going to have 3 very happy people. Nothing. Well, he's got the king of diamonds.
Yeah, a little bit of help. Couple
2 back doors.
One of the back doors.
An 8, a queen, a king, or a jack will do it. That is a straight.
Gets there. And he's trying to contain his happiness, and Thorpe is trying to contain his sadness.
Everyone's keeping it as classy as possible. Thorpe down to 17.9K, Shaggy up to 9K. One more double up will put Thorpe in 4th place. But that just show you how far back Shaggy had really fallen, too. But he still is pretty much the short, just like a clear short stack.
And he's the only person at the table who's happy about that.
Yes. Maybe our dealer is happy about that.
Maybe.
I can't speak to that.
Well, it's possible that if Snuggy were taking more advantage of his chip stack, he might be happy about that as well.
Yeah,
keeping
that's right.
around the short stack, keeping the bubble so he can just continue to pound on these guys, but he hasn't had that strategy.
No, we haven't seen that. You're right.
Shaggy with another decent hand. This time he doesn't have to shove.
Yep.
Although it is up to 500 big blind now, as we see.
Oh, he's got 18 blinds. He does
He's
shove
just going to move it in. He's only getting called by better hands.
That is the one problem with this. Can't be that bad to shove, but...
He's definitely only getting called by better hands.
I know.
Though.
I don't think King Queen's ever calling him. But he's going to fold out a few better hands.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Probably fold out like ace-8 off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Snuggy has ace-9, I'm not sure what he's doing. For 22 blinds, he may just fold with Cantu behind him.
Yeah, he might.
Cantu's calling with ace-10 for sure.
Yeah.
In the big blind. I got to believe. And these guys can still all call and be wrong.
And the ante's pretty big, too. It's a 75 ante now, so that's a pretty significant chip up for Shaggy's stack.
And he picks up 300. Yeah, he picks up 1,000 chips.
Yeah.
From under the gun. That is pretty nice when he had 9,000.
Yeah.
So don't have to turn your hand over or anything. Always feels good.
Thorpe with the Thorpe hand. Fold it.
Snuggy gonna have to open this one now.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get back to. You can't really put too much ICM pressure on people.
Right, and also Shaggy's not gonna shove a ton of hands anymore.
No, it's now it's back to just okay. Time to boss the table. Like people aren't gonna get into a huge confrontation with Snuggy probably, but I mean it just seems like a good spot.
Yeah.
I mean obviously that was a raising hand anyway, but he can raise a lot of hands, like maybe almost 100% of hands from the button right now. If he
think
wants.
so.
Like at least 85, 90%, I think.
Anything suited for sure.
Oh yeah. Like you can throw out the absolute junk.
Yeah.
But I think besides that, the way this table's going right now, just open it up.
probably feels like a longer bubble than it is. You know, bubbles always feel so long.
They do. Shaggy does not have to ship this, and probably shouldn't. He's just going to he is going to raise. I thought he was just going to complete.
I think I'd prefer shipping this to ace-4 suited. Get more flips, and it's a hand that's tough to play post-flop sometimes.
I'm sort of surprised we didn't get it in right here.
Yeah, me too. Although
Shaggy,
Thorpe has gotten a little bit short himself.
Yeah, but this is not a bad reason just to move him in. But I guess it's okay to call.
Well, Thorpe outflops him. Is all diamonds, though, and Shaggy's going to bet into it.
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not great, but it's not crazy. Thorpe's just going to move him in. Look how quickly Thorpe moves him in.
And that's a terrible feeling when you're Shaggy.
Yeah. I don't think Shaggy only has 5.2K, but it still is 10 blinds. I don't think he can call this off.
If he had the 7 of diamonds, maybe consider it, but I still think it's a fold.
Yeah. Like Thorpe could just have the ace of diamonds. That'd be that's the only thing you can really beat. And by the way, you're not doing I mean, you'll take it.
Against his range, you're not doing well.
You're doing very badly.
Yeah.
He has flushes. He has the ace of diamonds with maybe another over. He has kings. He has 2 pairs. He has all sorts of stuff.
And we're back to the Shaggy is short situation.
Yep. Let's see. So it's interesting in a sit and go too. Like because the small stack can fluctuate so much on the bubble, it really should change people's strategies like moment to moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's tactics. Maybe we're really changing tactics. Our strategies stay the same, but like we should switch tactics here. Like can't really open this. I don't think.
I think
with
he can
Shaggy behind him.
I think he can open it.
No, he agrees with me. I'm with you, Brandon.
Well, he should have opened it.
I mean, Brandon has this tough spot with a 10 blind stack behind him. I think you want to be opening hands you can call the shove with, and it's going to be no, I guess it's not half a stack anymore. It's a quarter of a stack to call. This is another spot where Snuggy could have put a lot of pressure on Thorpe.
Yeah, he has a very bad hand.
It's going to be tough to do that now, though.
Yeah, I think Thorpe's going to win this hand.
It goes check, check, it looks like.
No help to
Queen
Thorpe.
on the turn.
Snuggy's not going to be putting any more chips in this pot.
I'm just hoping Snuggy has anything.
A queen would be great.
Queen would be great. Hearts would be great. A 9 even. We would take a 9.
Sure.
If you could somehow have 2 aces.
Sure, yeah.
Wonderful.
But it is 7 deuce.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about people you're playing with on the bubble. See how like money scared they are, stuff like that. It's always kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Sociologically.
Anthropologically.
No, not really.
Anthropologically, I think is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said it wrong the first time.
Yeah, anthropologically.
Yeah, anthropologically.
Like what kind of tools they make when they're on the bubble.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. A screwdriver. Phillips head. Wouldn't have expected that.
I thought you were a flathead man.
Thorpe with the queens.
All right, he's really hoping somebody picks something up in the blinds this time.
Yep.
Is he limping?
No. I thought he was limping. I was going to get kind of excited.
I was going to get excited too because he limped the threes before. Remember?
He linked before, and Brandon made the big raise before in the same spot, ICM-wise.
Brandon might defend this, but no.
Wow. Brandon's like, it's 10 blind stack over there, man. I'm not getting involved. That's a hand normally Brandon would certainly defend.
Yeah, I think so. Thorpe did 3 exit, which is slightly bigger than your average open at this stage, but still.
That would have been a really cool time to limp.
It would have.
Try and set up that play again for Brandon.
Would have been slightly high variance to limp, though.
Why? Because they could just check through?
Yeah, let people in. You don't know what 2 pairs you're trying to avoid. Yeah. It's a spot on the bubble where you don't want to bust with queens and hate yourself for limping.
And the truth is, all you're really going to get is 1 raise out of Brandon, because I assume we're going to re-raise.
Yeah.
And he's usually going to fold, unless he has a hand that he's going with anyway.
Right, which you would have gotten value from anyway.
So that's a reason not to limp. But punishing him for making that play is... I guess if you're planning on limping the button more, then you should limp.
Yeah.
This is an easy shove for Brandon. Gotta believe.
Very easy. Unless he wants to limp trap. But
no.
Shaggy hasn't been doing stuff that makes you want to do that.
You don't want to limp trap with ace-6 off anyway.
No, we do not.
Just take the money.
Yep, that's going to do it. Shaggy below 10 blinds now at 9 blinds.
That 7's hand really hurt him.
And when you're four-handed, they come around real fast. So you start feeling the pressure.
Yeah, 1,000 goes in every orbit, and it's 4 hands to an orbit.
Yeah.
So that's tough when you have 4,500.
Yep.
You know, Dan Harrington would say he's got an M of 4.5. Actually, it's a little bit less because it's a little more than 1,000 goes in.
Don't talk about M. Don't talk about M around me. Wonka does enough of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a big fan of it. Snuggy gonna have to play this, and certainly
Not
get
fold
it in with
to a shaggy
Shaggy.
shove, yeah.
It's
Looks
just
like over 3x here, 1600.
I'm not sure why so much. You really don't need it to be that much. Shaggy's only
Well-
shoving. Oh, there you go. Gonna call. Gotta believe this
is
is
a
call.
great spot for Shaggy. Of course, Snuggy's going to call.
He hasn't called yet.
Oh, he said call, I guess, because unless the person doing the
There
video
we
just
go.
assumed. Yeah, looks like a good spot.
Oh, no,
here.
no. Shaggy had already given his cards up. He said call. He just
Yeah.
hadn't turned it over. So it's going to take a 10 or some help.
So far, so good.
So he's going to need to see a jack of not diamonds for some help.
Just
Or
a 10 now.
Now it's just a 10. Yep.
Nope.
And nice
And
double through there. for
Shaggy just won't die, and everybody's sad about it except for him.
Yep. He's back up to 19 and a half blinds, and now his demise is no longer feeling imminent.
Right.
This bubble has actually lasted quite a while.
It has. It's been quite a long bubble. I mean, we did lose players very quickly, so that's to
That's
be
right.
expected.
That's right. But that said, we've also had a pretty short stack for a lot of the bubble. Too.
Yeah. Yeah. If,
Shaggy twice has survived all ins.
if Shaggy can just get to this position and then double up again, he's right back in it.
I mean, whoever he doubles through is
Yeah.
is now going to be in his situation,
Well,
unless
unless
it's Snuggy.
it's- yeah.
Actually, it'd be kind of cool if he doubles through Snuggy. Snuggy will have 30K. Every other guy will have 20K. Be a fun little fight. And there's, you see the stacks. Snuggy's still in great shape.
Really good shape, yeah.
This is one of those spots where the bubble is a place where Snuggy could really be trying to win this sit and go. You know, acquire the chips right now. That just makes it super hard to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, if he can go into the three-way thing with like 60K in front of him,
Right.
he's in such good shape.
Even 50 instead of
Yeah.
40, it really makes a difference for the chances to win.
Isn't-
Shaggy trying to side, he
Yeah.
just throws it away.
That's interesting. I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable, but you're probably supposed to play that hand.
What do you do, open fold?
Yeah,
That kind of sucks.
it does. You're stealing. I mean, you're stealing, but you've got a hand that steals well. You know, you block some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, Snuggy's outflopped Thorpe here.
Yep.
Goes check anyway. Snuggy must feel pretty comfortable with that card.
Thorpe clearly is just check folding here. Gotta believe.
Yep.
Just like, I'm
Didn't-
not getting involved. The guy's still pretty short.
Didn't raise pre, maybe because of the ICM situation.
Maybe.
It's just so tense when you're on the bubble, you know? It's such a tense feeling.
Unless you got all the chips, then it feels fine.
Yeah,
Then
I
it's
agree.
easy.
But especially when you are like Shaggy and you just keep fluctuating between 10 and 20 blinds, you're just like, oh, this is a heart attack.
Well, see, actually, I think it's not so bad when you're Shaggy either, though, because you expect you're the next one to go out. It's the
True.
two guys in the middle who like have to actually
right, and
manage everything.
In a sit and go bubble, I think I agree. But if you're in like a
Oh.
World Series bracelet event bubble where 240 people get paid,
Yeah, okay, that's
then
fair.
and you're like 9 blinds, that's a pretty tense moment.
Yeah, mostly you could just fold 3 hands and you're there.
Yeah,
mostly.
Well, I don't know. I've had some long bubbles in those
Yeah.
situations.
See, this is another place where Snuggy can just move Brandon in if he wants.
Or at least raise big.
Brandon's got 40 blinds. He's going to call with almost nothing.
Well, Brandon's going to take the bully rollover with a 9-4 here. I didn't know he was bullying until halfway through that sentence because I didn't see his cards, but still, he is bullying. But
would've been a
Snuggy's going to call.
Would have been a great spot to re-raise, too. Just shove. I'm all for shoving.
Well,
Great
this-
flop for Snuggy.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon's going to put too much action in with just a 4.
He'll probably check this back. That's my guess.
I think he's going to bet it. You're right again.
Yep. That's okay. Don't be sad.
That's a good card for Brandon in general.
Yep.
Doesn't bring anything else scary.
Snuggy probably should be betting here. I think Snuggy should be betting to bet all rivers that
Just
do not
goes check,
improve
check.
him.
These guys are playing crazy passive against each other.
Snuggy just misses. Maybe put in a big bet now. I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think it would work at this point.
But try.
And
No.
now Brandon's going to have to show down the 9-4, which hopefully
Snuggy sees.
Snuggy will see that and recognize that and take advantage of it next time.
Honestly, there may have been some value in Brandon betting the river just so he didn't have to show his hand.
Yeah,
You
I
could
agree.
bet small.
Yeah,
Bet 1,200. Bet 1,000.
yeah, because Snuggy usually just has a give up hand there
Right.
when he takes that line, and then you don't have to show the 9-4 off. I agree. That's an interesting point.
Like this may the gig may be a little bit up now.
Isn't it the jig?
I don't know. I'm back and forth. I was trying to say, should I say jig or gig? I went with gig.
I've always heard jig.
I've heard jig too, but What is that in reference to?
What
the
is
jig is up?
The gig is
The
up?
gig. You can't do the gig anymore. It's up. It's over. You're done. Get out of here. But the jig? What's the jig?
It's a dance.
Is it? What
Yeah.
name? What's the name of the dance? It's called the jig. Do the jig.
The
Everyone.
Irish jig?
Oh, hey, that is a dance.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, maybe that's what it means. The jig is up.
Snuggy's got to be opening this on the button, I
Yeah.
assume. You can easily fold to a
He's gonna
Shaggy shove.
limp though. This is we've seen a few of these limps now. Interesting. Now, in fairness, Shaggy does actually have the kind of stack that a lot of players will limp the button with, against. I mean,
Yeah.
I should say, because this way it's really hard for him to shove. It's too big a shove for him to make.
I mean, you can just ignore that and shove anyway if you want to,
Of course you can.
because it's only like a 1.5 blind difference.
I think also more and more people are doing that.
Yeah. And there's a bad card for Shaggy.
Yeah. This may be it for Shaggy. He's going to need a Broadway card on the river to survive, or a 9, or the case 10. That's all he's got, because there's no way Snuggy's folding on this turn.
Well, Shaggy doesn't necessarily have to get it in here, though.
He does not.
You can check, decide the river.
I mean, if it's a brick, that's a great card
It's
for
not a
Shaggy.
brick at all. They're probably going check here.
Is he betting?
He is betting.
What is he doing?
He's trying to get called by a 6 and set his price.
Or an 8? He's trying to block. He's blocking.
Yeah, set his price.
Yeah, okay.
At the same time as maybe sometimes get called by a 6 or an 8 if he's lucky. It's a weird spot for Snuggy.
Yep. We can decide to call because something's missed. Diamond's missed. But that's about it. Looks like Snuggy is going to make the call.
And that's gonna
be a win for Snuggy.
Really hurt Shaggy's stack heading into the next episode.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a rough one to end on here.
Really tough.
Well, we got to the bubble, and then the bubble just kept on going. We're bubbling for a while here. Shaggy just won't die.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty interesting to watch him hang around and hang around and hang around some more. So it's going to be fun to see how these guys continue to play the bubble. We've noticed that no one's really been bullying the bubble too much so far anyway. I'm curious to see if that changes as we get into the next episode.
Something's got to break soon, right, Jonathan?
I mean, always, Grant. Always.